So hello and welcome to another Foreman community demo. For those of you watching the live stream, please note that this demo is being recorded. If you should have any difficulty with the stream, we will make the recording available soon after the demo. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Freenode IRC or the YouTube live chat. Before we begin, just a few announcements. Since we last met, Foreman 2.1.0 has been released. Please upgrade or install to take advantage of the new features, performance improvements, and 300 bug fixes that were included in this release. For more information, check out the release announcement on the Foreman Community Discourse page. On the Katello side, Katello 3.15.3 has been released, which focuses on bug fixes found in earlier versions. Also, Katello 3.16 RC4 is available, so if you're interested in evaluating this version, please check out the release announcements on Discourse. In other news, the Foreman birthday party takes place on the 28th of July, which is in 2 weeks. We will host a number of presentations, and you're very welcome to join us. Information about the speakers will be released later this week. And that's all the announcements. So up first is Ian with a demo of Pulp 3 Incremental update. So stop presenting.
All right, thank you. Let me just get my screen up. Okay, hello everyone. Ian here with another Pulp 3 update. So today I'm going to be talking about incremental updating. So incremental update isn't something new to Katello, but just for anyone who doesn't know or anyone who needs a reminder, incremental update is a handy feature where if you have a content view version that is missing, say like a package or an erratum that exists in the main repository that you have synced, but if your content view might be out of date, you can, instead of having to like republish your content view, redo your filtering, whatever, you can just do an incremental update, which is essentially you saying, hey, let me grab this piece of erratum and just stick it right in the content view version, so you don't have to worry about making a mess. So now we have this working with Pulp 3. So let me give you a bit of a demo here. So firstly, for our setup, these are the repositories that I have, and here's how the dependencies are working. So there's two repositories here, one called module RPMs and then one called RPM depths. So we're focusing on this erratum, this walrus erratum right here that's in the module RPMs repository. And this erratum refers to this walrus RPM, but then that RPM relies on whale, which is also in module RPMs. But then whale has shark and stork, which are in RPM depths. So I'm using this to show that the incremental update also relates to dependency solving. So with that said, here is my content view. I have two versions. I have one version where I have those two repositories and all of its content. And then I have version 2 where I've filtered everything out just for informational purposes. So let us start with the incremental update. I want to add that piece of erratum that I've filtered out. So I'm looking and I see that the ID for this content view version, it's version 2, but it's ID 3. I'm going to be using the ID to call incremental update from Hammer. So I already have the command up here. So it's Hammer content view version incremental update. I use the content view version ID of 3 and then the errata ID, which is the walrus. So we hit enter and hope everything works. So just take a sec, depending on how quick my development environment is working. Okay, that was quick. Cool. So from the incremental update, we see all the things that were copied. So the erratum was copied here. We also have a module stream that came along. And in the packages, we have walrus, we have its dependency whale, and then whale's dependencies shark and stork. So let's see if, so it says they were copied, but let's double check that they actually were. So I'm going to refresh this page. So, okay, we see we had 2.2.0 before, And now we have version 2.1. And so everything was filtered out. So here we have 4 packages, 1 erratum, and then 1 module stream. The only reason we don't have 5 is because there is 1 unrelated package that wasn't copied because it didn't have anything to do with the incremental update. Okay, so now just to prove that everything's working, let's inspect the content view version. So the new one that was created is content view version 7. So I'm going to jump over to the console here. So we're going to do content view version find of ID 7. And we're going to look at its repositories. Okay, so let me scroll down and get this info here. So we have 2 repos. The first one is the RPM deps repo. And the second one is the module of RPMs. So we are going to inspect first the repository with the version 18, which is our content view versions module RPMs one. So we're going to do, actually, let's do this. Repositories, just a second. Okay, so in RPM, or sorry, in the modules, or in the, yeah, in the first repo there, let's see. We have whale, and then if I scroll down, there is walrus. So those 2 were copied. And then we will look at the RPM deps repo. We see stork and shark. Okay, those got copied. And then now I will look at the errata. So we see the walrus erratum was copied over. And these packages, you can see they have, so I don't have to prove that they're also in Pulp 3. They also have the Pulp 3 href. So if you plug this into the Pulp 3 API, you would be able to see it directly. So that is it for my incremental update demo. Stay tuned for more Pulp 3 features as they're making it over. We are nearly complete with the Pulp 3 RPM features. So look forward to seeing that when Katello 3.16 is fully released. And that's it for me. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Ian. As far as I can see, there are no questions so far, but there was one comment on the YouTube live stream saying that this is so relevant to what I'm just about to do. So if anyone has questions, and you can ask at any time, and I'll call it out during after at another interval if necessary. And up next is Samir with Pulp 3 Capsule Cert Guard, if you'd like to get ready.
Hey, I'll just quickly present. All right, can you see my screen?
It's just, yeah, now I can.
All right. Yeah, so good morning all. My name is Samir. And in a previous demo, I went through the Content Guard integration with Katello. So that was supposed to handle the Katello master server. In this demo, I just want to run through the Capsule integration with Content Guard. So I'll quickly go over the setup I have here. So as you can see, I have 3 repositories here. And if I go to my smart proxies, okay, I have the smart proxy setup, which should have yum enabled. Slow. All right. Yeah. So if you see here, Pulp core as in Pulp 3, and I have yum supported here, so I should be able to proceed with the demo. All right. I'll present my terminal. Just a minute. All right. So this here is my terminal. I'll quickly verify that I have the 3 repos exposed on the Pulp 3 API. So yeah, the CentOS 7 Devil 4 is my main Katello server, and I'm looking up the distributions here. All right, so as you can see, I have 3 distributions on my main server. 2 of them are protected, so they do have a content guard. And one of them is unprotected, so it does not have a content guard. And similarly, if I look these same repos over in the proxy, all right, quick. Yeah, so CentOS 7 proxy Devil 2 is my proxy, and I'm looking up the distributions here. So similarly, I have 2 repos which are which have a content guard, and one of them which is exposed via HTTP, so it does not have a content guard. All right, so in the background, I'll quickly update the repo that does not have a content guard right now. And I'll also make it protected. All right, so I'm doing that right now. All right, so just let me show that on the terminal. Yeah, so this is on my Katello server. And this is the one that I just updated to have a content guard. And the corresponding distribution on proxy server is this here. This still doesn't have a content guard. So this should appear as soon as I sync the smart proxy. So I'll do that in the background again. All right. So I'm running the smart proxy sync right now. All right, so the sync is complete, and now you can see for my content guard on the capsule piece, I'm able to see that as well. All right, so that's it from my end. Thanks.
Thanks, Amir. I think your dog was very excited about the latest developments. Also, I don't see any questions so far, so we can move on to John Mitch with new Katello content view page search.
Thanks, Melanie. Let me share my screen. Okay. So in Katello, we are adding a new content view page. I've been giving some updates in the demos as things have been added to that. On the main page, search has been added, and it's going to function a little different by default. It's going to actually automatically search when you type in. You may have seen this on some other products that like Red Hat has, or like the open source products. I don't know why it's double searching right now. I swear I just tested this, but the demo gods are angry with me. But let me try a scope search. There we go. Okay. So as you type in, it's going to automatically search. You're going to have the same X to clear it. It's going to support scope search. And some of you might not want this. That's fine. There is a setting, auto search. You can turn this off. There's also an auto search delay. It's the default's 500 milliseconds, so you can alter that too. And let me reload to show the, just going back to the normal search. Okay, so we're back to the normal search. Now this is pattern flight 4 icon, so you might notice it looks a little different. It's not going to auto search. Ignore this little spacing here. That's because of a pattern flight update. But this is going to function as the normal traditional search on all the other pages, and you can clear it like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Search has been added to the new experimental content views page, and there is auto search turned on by default.
Looks great, John. And let me check. Do I have any questions anywhere? And I don't think that I do. So we can progress to the next demo, which is Jonathan with Katello improvements around expired manifests.
Thanks, Melanie. Let me share my screen here. All right, so like you said, Melanie, I'll be sharing some of the improvements we've made around expired manifests in Katello. So first, let me take a step back and explain, well, what is a manifest? A manifest is something that you would have as a Red Hat customer. After you purchase some subscriptions, you would come over here to the Red Hat customer portal, create a subscription allocation, add your subscriptions to it, and then export that manifest and import it into your Katello so that you can use those subscriptions in your own private infrastructure. When a manifest is expired, we kind of have, or I'm sorry, invalid rather, we have two criteria. One is that the SSL certificates inside that manifest have expired, or that manifest has been removed on the Red Hat customer portal, which may be intentional or not. So in either of those situations, the experience around actions requiring a valid manifest would break down. Perhaps you would come to the subscription page and try to add a subscription or update the quantity of your subscriptions, and it just would not work. Or maybe you get some kind of strange error messages popping up about bad requests and HTTP 400s and whatnot to improve upon here. So in this organization, I have imported an invalid manifest. And let me show you what happens when I refresh the page. I get a pop-up notification here that says this organization's subscription manifest has expired. Please import a new manifest. So previously this wasn't happening. So we're just kind of, guiding our users to the action they need to take to resolve this situation, because you really do not want to be running with an expired manifest. And you'll also notice that we've disabled many of the actions on this page, like adding subscriptions. You can no longer click into the entitlement value here and update that value. But of course, you can come over and either delete this manifest or choose a new one to import. So that was one case of an invalid manifest. The other is when been deleted on the Red Hat customer portal, which, like I said, maybe that was intentional or not. Multiple users in an organization, maybe there was some miscommunication or something. So I'm switching over to another organization, which right now has a perfectly valid manifest. It's called JTRL deleted. And I'm looking at that same manifest over here in the Red Hat customer portal. I'll just go ahead and delete this manifest. We don't make it very easy to do that. We kind of caution users about the implications of that. So hopefully it won't be something that does happen accidentally. So I'll delete that manifest. It should only take a second. And it is gone now. Subscription allocation deleted. So if I come back over here and refresh my page, I should get another pop-up message, explaining the situation here. And it's saying that the subscription allocation providing the imported manifest has been removed. Please create a new one and import that. And you'll notice here once again that I can no longer select rows or add subscriptions or anything like that. So that's one aspect of the improvements. The second aspect is, well, what if you're not coming to this subscriptions page? Maybe you just wouldn't catch on to the fact that your manifest has expired. And what we've done is we've added a periodic notification that happens on a daily basis that will notify organization administrators across your Katello instance which organizations have expired manifests or invalid ones. So you'll see here in my notification drawer, I have no notifications. I'm going to go to my terminal really quick, and I'm going to just manually trigger that 24-hour notification. And I'll just refresh the page. Oh, there we go. We got them already. So I have two notifications here because I have the one organization which has the manifest with expired certificates, and I have the other organization which had the manifest on the portal that I, maybe intentionally deleted or maybe not. So the difference being, you handle the case where you're at the subscriptions page, trying to perform an action with your subscriptions from the customer portal, or maybe you're not using this page at all, but we're going to periodically notify you through the notification mechanism that your manifests are expired. So hopefully that'll kind of clear up kind of the rather bizarre experience we were providing before in these situations. And just a quick note, the same behavior would happen through Hammer. I won't demo that today, but I think you get the idea. You'll get many of these same error messages through Hammer if you're trying to perform these same actions. And that's all I have for today. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Jonathan. That looks great. And let me see now, just check. No questions anywhere. So we have a bit of a smaller lineup today than we've had in the last few weeks. So for the final two demos, Partha is going to talk about Katello auto-enable, disable custom repos, and looking at original module stream filter.
Can you all hear me fine?
Is that your jingle?
There you go. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Is it running?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's great. Like, take it away.
All right. So there are two demos that I signed up for today. One is a demo on auto enablement for custom repos. It sounds like a lot of buzzwords, but let me click on this and show you. So here I have two custom repos, right? Like, so if I click on demo repo, there's, yeah, it's just like any other normal repos. So one of the problems, so I have an activation key now that points to this demo product. So if when I go here, if I do subscriptions, I see that I have auto-enabled demo, right? Now, what happens is, so let's say I'm a consumer, I'm a content host, that's a better word, sorry. I'm a content host that wants to consume of this activation key, right? So let me do that. So let me first unregister because I previously registered. Now finally, let me register again. So, yeah. If I go to etsy yum.repos.d, and if I do a cat on Red Hat repo, I see that both of these repos are enabled by default, right? The enabled value is set to 1 automatically. Now, a lot of people, they don't want that. They want the default state to be disabled for certain repos. So this feature is supposed to help with that. So you can, historically, you could control this by going through repository sets, and you can override it. But if you added a new repo, you will have to remember to come here again and change it. And it's a little, but this serves more as an override. So if there's a special activation key that you want to behave differently, this is the place to do it. So what we do now is one of the features that was introduced, I think last sprint for us, was this idea of setting up a default enablement. So let's see. So I have my demo product here again, right? I can go to demo and say, hey, but you see this flag, enable on registration. By default, it's set to yes. We can say, I don't want this on by default, right? And what happens is, if I go back to my client host here, if I did a subscription manager refresh, and I did a cat on the Red Hat repo, you see that this guy is disabled and this guy is enabled. So this provides a way for you to control what is the default behavior, what you want to happen by default when you register or when you consume of this product. And this is also, you can also set this when you're creating a repo. So if you did new repo and yeah, add yum or something, I can set it here. I can select or unselect here. That pretty much concludes my first part of my demo. Now comes the second feature I worked on, which is related to modularity filters. So I'm hoping you all know what module streams are, but filtering is kind of an unknown area. It's still a largely unknown area. So let me go a little bit on it. So there are basically three important rules with content view filters. One is that the module stream filters control the modular RPMs. Those are RPMs that are part of a module stream. The package filters control the non-modular RPMs that do not belong to any module stream. Errata filters control both. So let me go to my demo here. So I have a repo here. Yeah, I have a repo which has like, this is the standard zoo repo you use for everything, for testing a lot of things. And it has a bunch of our modular RPMs, a bunch of non-modular RPMs. It has errata that point to that are modular and non-modular for that matter. So when I publish this, for example, you see there are like 23 packages here, and there are like 7 errata and 15 module streams. So to give you a little more context, so if I clicked on the details for this, okay, module equals modular, sorry, equals, if I did a false, I see that there are roughly 8 non-modular RPMs here. And if I did true, I see that there are roughly 15 modular RPMs here. Okay. And here's and there are roughly 15 module streams. Now I'm going to set up a filter, which is very common among customers. So if I do it in a new filter, let's add one example here. Errata by date, right? So let's see. I have errata by date and type. Yeah, and I want an include here. Okay. So I'm creating an includes errata filter, and I'm saying give me all the errata before a particular date. So I'll just choose today for just for the sake of it, but usually it'll be like a few months before or after. Now so I click save, right? Now I publish this guy. So just say all errata before 07/16/2020. There you go. Right? So this publish, while this publish is happening, yeah, let's wait for the publish to complete. Almost there. So there you go. But you see there are 7 errata that got copied, which is good. But you see there are 7 module streams and 8 packages instead of 23 packages and 15 module streams. So our errata filter only copied stuff that belonged to an errata. Like, so this module stream belonged to an errata, and these packages belong to an errata. So it only copied those guys, right? Now, one of the issues we had, one of the flaws of this is a lot of customers want to have the ability to say, hey, I want all the module streams that are not part of any errata. So for example, like even for Rel 8, there are plenty of module streams that do not belong to any errata, and people who are using the AppStream repos are not able to get that if they set a package, if they set an errata filter, because we didn't have that option. So this is a new addition in the sprint. So we can let's say modules with no errata. There's a new checkbox you can set. So if you create a module stream filter of type include, I guess, you save it and you say, hey, I also want module streams that do not belong to any errata, and you should get a notification. I don't know if you guys are familiar. You can do the same with package filters. You can say include all the packages that do not belong to an errata. So this is kind of very similar to that. Now, if I publish, you can say all errata before 7/16 and all module streams without errata. So I do a publish again. So there you go. There are 15 module streams as we expected, because all the module streams without the errata also got included. So yeah, this option is, you can set this option even via Hammer. I'm not going to demo that, but it's there. Let me also just show you one quick one with the packages, just to show you that it's there for packages. A package, include, again, same pattern. We are saying all non-modular packages, all non-modular RPMs with no errata, include them. You get a notification again, then you publish it. Oh, I forgot to set description, but yeah, this should have everything, because we have said we need all errata before 7/16, all module streams without errata, and all packages without errata. So this should show you the full. So this should be the full list. That's pretty much what I had for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Partha. That was great. Just check, but I don't think we have any questions. And if anyone who is currently watching or is watching back later has a question at a later time, just feel free to drop a comment or open a topic on the Foreman discourse, or Twitter, Freenode, anywhere, and we'll get back to you. Thanks to everyone who demoed today, and thank you to everyone who watched on the live stream. and we'll see you again in 3 weeks. Thank you.